I don't remember how to play the song. It's been a month, and I forget.
You want me to play it for you?
It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Whoa, we have Bryan, Bob, and Chelsea Paniac, David Bennett on the podcast today on the Bennettarium. Oh boy, it's the Bennettarium. And we're starting right now.
Sound like I wasn't singing like this?
No, you sounded great, Chelsea. I loved it. I loved it.
Oh.
That was great. Harmony.
Was that just two-part harmony, or?
No, it was good. We went down. We were three.
Did we?
We were three.
Were we?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's try it. Let's take the time to do it, because we don't have anything to talk about.
Do it again.
Yeah, they'll like the what is it?
Yeah,
the deconstruction of it.
We did that the last podcast with Mike. It was fun.
Okay, well, Mike's way better.
Well, no, he taught me how to do a harmony for Me and My Baby because no one else was here, and I was like, oh,
cool.
Did we play Me and My Baby?
Yeah.
Or we just did the harmonies for it?
We did the harmonies for the end.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was really cool.
It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. I mean, it's easier slower because we can lock it in.
Yeah. Sounds good though.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, that was three-piece. That was three-part. A three-piece soup, baby.
Greetings, everyone.
No, I can already see the frames are dropping.
No.
How many frames can we drop over one podcast? David.
Stick around to find out.
That's never happened ever. And I'm not sure if it's Vimeo. I mean, we can just complain the whole podcast.
We could,
but it's only people who are watching the live stream that is affecting.
Well, we apologize for live stream people.
You'd think, me, I went to school to be an IT technician and stuff, but you know what? There's only so much I can do when the internet.
Did you finish school?
No, I didn't. I dropped out to start a band.
Well, there you go. That's your problem right there.
Yeah,
focusing on music.
If only
stay in school, kids, and you'll be able to
fix your internet connection.
Fix your Vimeo for your podcast.
No, I sent them support stuff. I'm like, they're not going to fix this. They're not going to.
Definitely not. I feel like you talked to him the last 3 times you've been on the phone with somebody.
It's a different problem now. To be fair, it is a different problem now.
But what is the problem?
I shouldn't have to make people refresh my webpage because I have to put a new embedded video in because any video is created. I don't know. They're gonna come up with some excuse like, "Oh, we just found this new thing thanks to you." I'm not your guinea pig. I'm paying a lot of money
to use this proper program.
Yeah. But anyways, it's also probably now it seems like the internet crapped out right when we got everything working, and so I reset everything. But it's
probably just not as common. It's not as commonly used for podcasts and stuff like that. I feel like Vimeo.
I mean, just any live streaming.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people who do it just do it on YouTube and use take the easy route. They take that's why you run into problems. So I think.
Well, I mean, we'll do the free YouTube ones, but we can't have an private embedded video on YouTube. They'll come after your channel if you try to do that kind of stuff.
Really?
Because you're not supposed to be able to make money, and technically we're making money because it's like a donation-based thing on the Engineer-eteers site.
Oh yeah.
So you have to use other stuff. So we started with Dogcast, and this is all way interesting, and everyone came here to do this. and that was okay. It was just kind of expensive to use, and I always had to re-upload the videos after the fact, anyways. But I didn't have any issues with it, other than it was kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And the Vimeo was about the same price, but they had the. That they would just have the video archived after you live streamed, and that was like, oh, that's pretty good. But that's only worked once since we started.
So, there you go.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, happy 2018.
A little introduction.
My name's David Bennett.
My name is Chelsea.
Is that what you meant? This is your first time to podcast.
And this is the voice of Bryan Barbary.
First podcast of 2018.
Just the voice.
It's been a while, but we get busy.
Well, yeah, especially in December.
It's been so busy. Well, I mean, it's still in the middle of being crazy busy. So
it probably won't cool down until after January.
Yeah, I agree. But that's good though. I like being busy. I thought about that. I had a week in the middle of December where I was like, I had nothing to do, and I like that. I like a day.
It's all right.
Where I'm like, yeah, it's great. But then I was like, all right, I need 8 things to do right now.
I'm the same way.
Or I'll go crazy.
Into the second day of nothing is when I start going crazy. It doesn't take me long at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, being sick is the worst time because then you have stuff to do, but you can't do it.
You can't do it. Yeah, that's true.
So then you feel like, well, I don't want to do the things I don't want to do or have fun either.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of you're just there until you're.
Yeah, you were sick. Buddy was sick. Steve was sick.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward.
I mean, a lot of people caught whatever was going around.
Oh yeah,
so.
it was
Not
everyone.
This guy. I ain't catching. I'm knocking it down.
Yeah.
Judo chop.
I'm doing everything in my power to stay well.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like, I'm not getting it. I went all December. It's not gonna get me now. I've been like drinking cayenne pepper drinks and like all the stuff.
I just invite germs into my life. Like, you know, work with a lot of kids, so I give every single one of them a high five. And I'm like, yeah, more high fives. And then I'm like, then my hands are like, all my antibodies are like fighting double time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I spend a lot of time around people, and I was like, oh, I can't believe I haven't gotten sick yet. But we're building an immunity.
Totally.
Yeah.
Not me.
Getting coughed on all the time.
That's why you got it.
So I stay inside for months, and then I'll go and see a movie, and I'll get sick again.
Like, oh, God.
That's not really true. I only get sick usually once a year, but this year I got sick twice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I guess even with this sickness, a lot of people who normally don't get sick get sick.
I used to have like a really weak immunity system. Like when I was in my teens, I swear I like got sick every few months.
Really?
But I don't know. I got better.
You got to build up. You got to build up the immunity. Yeah.
Some people say flu shots, but I'm like, that's not the same as getting sick. Like if you get the flu, sure, but I haven't got the flu ever.
I don't know.
So long.
I was suspicious that you had some kind of flu or walking pneumonia.
Maybe.
You got pretty bad for a day.
It didn't feel like a flu. I remember what the flu would feel like from when I was a kid, but like it was bad, but it wasn't like it still didn't feel flu bad.
Yeah.
It just felt like incapacitating.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember. I remember seeing kids in the ER with the flu, like throwing up in the Tupperware. Like, I never had anything like that.
Throwing
up like a lot, like ridiculous amount, right?
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
But you can have flus that you don't do that.
Yeah.
So.
I remember only one time when I was a kid, like I thought I was dying or something. But
oh yeah, I got a bad one back in like 2011. And I was like bedridden for 3 days.
Oh, no. But flu shots. I think that was a thing, but I haven't had one in years or anything.
Yeah.
Not since I was like able to be like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'll do it if it's convenient. Like if I'm at the doctor's office for something else, and they're like, "Oh, want to get your flu shot right now?" I'm like, "Sure," but I won't go out of my way to do it.
The last time I got one, like still got sick that year because it's only preventing that one strain.
Yeah, that one.
If you get the flu and I don't ever get it,
it's a total crapshoot. I got the flu one year.
It's a gamble.
Well, it's like you're doing it at the beginning of the season, and it's like that's not even the virus that's gonna come through. Like you don't know what's going on.
It's gonna keep mutating.
I'm sure it definitely helps folks.
Somewhere,
of course.
But I haven't seen any benefits for me myself.
We're not crapping on flu shots.
Yeah, you do what you need to do to stay healthy. All right, don't listen to me.
You know,
I'm a rhinoceros.
Someone who's like a band or something. We're flying airplanes sometimes during the year.
Oh my god!
And it's usually during the winter months when I get sick. Usually October, and I got sick October. It was right after Disney.
Yeah.
I was like probably tired, and then I hung out with someone who was sick, and that's how I got sick.
Yeah. And it's also like being out there in the cold, kind of, you know, when you're sweating and stuff like that, doesn't help your body defend from anything.
Well, you know, Bunny and I got sick right before our last Disney show that we did down at Disney on the 30th.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that
the New Year's Eve show.
Yeah, New Year's Eve show.
Eve.
And then and both of us got just better enough that we did the show, but then like we were dead the next day.
That's what Buddy was saying. She was like down for the next day afterwards.
That was a cold night, a cold, wet night.
Yeah. I had to put a jacket on afterwards. Like I was like shivering.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I brought like a big sweater poncho, and I just like wrapped myself in it after the last.
It wasn't too terrible, but it was getting colder as the night
went on.
Totally. And then when we were sweating and all wet, like it was just like
chilling you to the bone.
You get that draft come in while you're on stage, and it's like.
I mean, I had the Under Armour thermal cold gear on, just on my chest, and
how did that work?
It helped, but once you sweat, like it wicks and stuff, but you have to imagine the sweat going onto your costume. It's still wet.
I was like thinking, do they make those in white? Because that'd be great to wear one of those.
Maybe,
but
they're all
long sleeved under the dress.
Not a bad idea.
I was freezing.
Yeah.
Well, there's not too many shows that we do up until 9:30 at night outside.
It's true.
It's kind of unique to the Downtown Disney stage.
Yeah.
So
we did that.
Was that no, we did 2 shows since our last podcast.
Yeah, we did the Bakersfield show.
Yeah, because the last time we were here, Mike was.
But did we do another Disney after that? Oh no, it was Disney,
No.
Bakersfield, then another Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we did Barstow. We did Barstow,
Barstow.
Disney, Bakersfield,
That
Disney.
was a funny show. The Barstow show was really funny.
I
for
liked
some reason.
Barstow.
I think that was my favorite show all year.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, not to diss on any other shows we did, but I think that was like
was a
maybe
good one.
as a performer, it was my favorite show.
Yeah, it was
Because
just
we all felt awake and we weren't tired. None of us were sick.
yeah.
And
I feel like the improv was really, really funny.
yeah, the
Yeah,
improv was
yeah.
really good on that one. And then we didn't have any technical problems.
Yeah, which was awesome.
No.
Yeah,
like,
because it was the Bakersfield
yeah,
show. that we
Bakersfield
did.
show.
Oh.
I mean, and there
And
was
when it started off, it was like, oh.
That's right.
I mean, I could list all of them, like, but no. It started with like Bryan moved his bass and somehow hit the mute switch on his
Oh, no.
Which is like
wireless thing.
the most like minute. Like, how could you possibly do that? Like,
No, but that's when I knew like something's weird
yeah,
about this
yeah,
show.
yeah. There's something
Yeah.
amiss.
But I was
I-
also sick for that show. That's when I
Yeah.
was starting to get sick, and so it was
Yeah.
like it was a. But you know what?
I-
Other people said the show was good.
Yeah,
on,
no,
you know.
because
Yeah.
they like when things go wrong. Because
So it
They
is.
will.
they
It's
get
a
to
matter.
watch
It's a
it
matter of
all
perspective.
improv.
too.
Yeah, other people except for that one guy backstage.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, one
that
of the-
show was rough.
One of the
Jeez.
one of the theater people, one of the stage hands, or he was probably someone who was a
Yeah.
technical
Yeah, yeah. I
director.
think his
I mean,
name's Frank.
he's been there every single show we've ever done,
Yeah.
and he's always kind of like
Surly.
Yeah.
doesn't really want to be there. He says everything, not for our show, but just like in general. It
Yeah,
seems like
yeah,
doesn't want
yeah,
to do his
totally.
work there or anything. And yeah, right after we came off stage, he was like, "Well, I'd say good show, but that was rough." And
Oh,
just like,
man.
Oh, thanks,
Why
buddy.
why would you say something
Well, it's like
that?
number one, you as a performer know it was rough, and
Yeah.
and probably think it was rougher than anybody who was sitting
Exactly.
in the audience. Numero uno, numero two, don't say that stuff to people when they walk off stage.
I
Like
know.
that's so
I
rude.
couldn't believe
That's
that.
so rude.
but I think the worst part of it is, I mean, at least from my perspective, was like, wait, it's the rough part of the show was that there were technical stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The rough part of the show wasn't because I was sick or someone else was
Yeah,
dropping the ball or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, we broke a string mid-show, which has never
that
happened
was
before. But
the first
that
chord
doesn't
of Me
make
and My
it doesn't make the
Baby,
performance bad.
I ran out. Like
You know,
that was a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like, but that's the thing. It's like, and even with all that stuff, we took all that stuff and made it
Yeah.
into, it's like, it's like you give it your all, and then to walk off stage and that's the first thing you hear is just like, come on, man, like
But,
we're in this together too.
Well,
We're-
he didn't pay to come see the show. I mean,
yeah, true.
He's getting
But
paid. To,
he did get paid to sit there.
Yeah.
All right, so you're welcome, dude, for your Christmas check.
yeah. I mean, he just worked for the theater.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone else obviously was super nice to us and stuff. And
Yeah.
but it's just a weird thing of like, what were you in the audience? Like people were eating that stuff
man,
out. Like
I know it.
and the difference between a Steam Powered Giraffe show that goes correctly and a one that goes bad, not too different. You know what I
True.
mean?
It's a slight difference.
You've got the nature of the act on your side, where you
yeah,
can
yeah.
really,
Yeah,
It's-
you
I
can
mean,
really make a show out of it.
You probably don't. We probably wouldn't want to have that show at Disney or downtown.
No,
I mean,
no,
we
no.
kind of did because my microphone was glitching out.
Oh,
But
that was kind of rough, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't break any strings. or anything
no,
like
we
that,
kept it
so-
going. We still played as all the songs that we were supposed to.
Yeah.
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 Fireworks started
In the middle of it, that
brass
was
goggles.
so funny. I forgot
Yeah.
to talk about that because I knew it was like different days, different
That
fireworks.
was-
No,
Yeah.
the fireworks schedule definitely it was supposed to happen in between, but because of wind and stuff, they can just change
Yeah.
it at a moment's
Oh,
notice.
okay.
So
It was
Yeah.
really foggy that night, and
Yeah.
I think they switched stuff.
so
around.
they just it's just, you
That's-
can't you can't hear them until after a while.
No,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
especially with the IMs on.
Oh.
And I heard a pop.
I heard
pop,
'em.
pop. But it's like
They
we can't hear
started.
'em.
The first one went off in the middle of Diamonds, and I was like dancing, and I freaked out.
Yeah.
But then like I was like, oh yeah, Disney, it's fireworks, and then like the grand finale happened in the middle of Brass Goggles.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, party.
That's awesome.
Well, because they want you to stop so people can watch the fireworks and
Yeah.
stuff. But
yeah, well, you
that-
can't really
No
see it
one
from the
really-
stage either.
No.
They're, I mean, they happen all the time at Disneyland. Most people don't stop to watch
Yeah,
them.
if they wanted us to stop, they would have told
Yeah.
us to stop.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
But those two, our last two shows, that was in November and December. Those fireworks were scheduled in between
Yeah.
our sets,
Yeah.
and then and then Halloween it was actually scheduled halfway through our last set. So,
Yeah.
and that's a different schedule that they have based on the times and I guess forecast. But they can change it at a moment's notice, so that's why we weren't prepared. Just other challenges,
Yeah.
on top of performing for 4
know
hours
it.
Keep
and
us on our
standing for
toes.
I don't know, it's like a 16, 18-hour day.
It's a long
Yeah.
day.
It's a long day. But you never sleep so
How
good.
how was
Yeah.
because you did a New Year's the night.
Oh,
Did you have enough-
Yeah,
Did you have
the
enough
New
sleep
Year's
in
show.
between
Oh,
to rest?
you know what? I'm like, Like Sunday, I'll sleep. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true because New Year's Day, I got some rest, and I got like menudo. My buddy does a big barbecue every New Year's. We do menudo and we do like
cool.
bunch of stuff. So I ate so much that I slept pretty much all New Year's Day.
Yeah.
But it's been like a nonstop, but in like the best way. You know, got to pay the bills.
I
so.
slept until
Sure,
almost 2 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Like after that long
Oh
night.
my god, it feels so good though because
New
like your
Year's
body is
Eve?
just
Oh, yeah,
so
'cause
tired.
Yeah.
Sunday, the
Oh,
day
yeah.
after the Disney show, I didn't wake up until almost 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I slept like a rock.
Yeah, because we don't get home till like 1,
No, yeah.
1:30, you know,
But
it's
and
like
then
by
like
that
I'm
time.
tired, but my brain is still all
Yeah,
wired from
yeah.
being up so long and the performing. So like I don't think I went to bed until like 3.
Yeah.
Is the worst unloading everything at that time? Because that's the worst for me.
Yeah, you know,
God. Yeah.
it is, but when by the time we get back to Steve's, it's like
had enough.
you've been sitting down for so long. It's like
Yeah.
good to like move and
Okay.
like get that, and it's like we got it down to like such a we're done so quickly.
Because carrying the instruments back upstairs. Is the
That's
worst part
the
for me.
worst.
Oh, yeah. See, and we don't have to do that
And I
at
drove.
Steve's. It's like it's barely 2
Yeah,
steps,
yeah.
but these steps are
These are awful at 2 in the morning.
Just in case anyone's listening, I live on the first floor of
Yeah.
of,
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah,
some
yeah.
random apartment building
Yeah.
in San Diego. So
Yeah.
don't try to find me.
It's
Definitely don't live on the.
It's
up
on
some
the
stairs.
southwest side of San Diego. You can look at that general southwest area. You find
yeah.
Go to every first floor apartment in the southwest side of San
Yeah.
Diego. You'll find David. You'll find him
And,
there.
and if you see stairs, just walk away because they ain't I ain't up there.
Yeah, I get that. But like I said, man, it's just and then like you gotta like take a shower and get all the makeup off. So it's like you do. Like by the time
It
you
takes
get in bed,
forever.
I just feel amazing. To,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, no, yeah,
and
it's
then
the
I
best.
just have the best sleep ever.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is, I mean, maybe because it was obviously being sick didn't help, but like waking up and like my legs didn't work.
Yeah, no.
Like it was
no.
like all
No.
made of noodles.
Yeah, I felt
No,
like
yeah.
I felt like an old man when I got up.
It was all rickety.
I'm like shuffling through my.
I mean,
Okay.
I literally shuffled to the kitchen.
I'll get some water now. I can hydrate myself.
you put it to I compare it to the zoo because we did the zoo for so many days in a row, but the zoo was easier per day.
because it's less. It was like less
Yeah,
time.
well,
Well, your
everything,
sets are a half the length.
Yeah, there were
too.
only 20-minute sets, and there were 4 of them, and then we had a parade afterwards, and then autographs, and that was
Yeah.
every day. And yeah, it was tiring, but of course you got used to it. But Disney is significantly longer.
Yeah.
Well,
time.
the sets are 40 minutes. You're still doing 4 of
And you're
them.
almost on your feet the whole time, except for maybe 15 minutes in between each set.
Maybe because like by the time you walk over there, it's
You
like
walk over
you
to
know,
a
and
break
then if there
room.
is
Yeah.
a seat, you could have a seat.
And that's
you
a
know?
long time to stand on concrete, and the
And,
stage is just, it's normal stage.
Yeah.
you
And
know.
we're still doing
Well,
robot stuff too. So.
For Disney, there's a lot of gear to transport back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah.
And I know
We had
you
to
said
set
at
up
the
everything, yeah.
At the zoo, you were able to stash
at the zoo,
stuff.
yeah, there was a
man.
few things that we had to store away from the
Yeah.
stage at the zoo,
Yeah.
but most of it we were able to store pretty much close to the stage.
At Disney, we don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
that luxury.
No, and
We had
nobody
to
knows
load it
that we're
in,
like nobody
yeah.
knows we're loading in
Yeah,
ever. It's like
no.
Yeah.
you've been here 3 times. Like all right, I don't care. Like I need to see all your gears.
You always have to open it up. It is a
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we're not complaining in
No.
case.
No.
In case just
It was
explain.
Downtown
Yeah.
Disney's.
Yeah.
But it's the hardest shows we've ever done, and that's coming from someone who's done it for 10 years.
Highlight of the night: walking over to Starbucks next to the stage.
Oh, yeah,
and
getting a
grabbing one of those
sandwich.
hot paninis. Ah, yeah.
Oh, a turkey panini. You got to try the turkey panini. That's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. Cranberry sauce.
So it's they're tough shows, and
They're
I
really
think
tough.
we, even though we get tired by the end of them, I think we get funnier by the end sometimes.
I think so too. I think so too. That's what I'm saying. Like the first show is always like really rough for me, but by the time we get to the 4th show, is like we're cooking. You know, it's cooking because we know what's coming. And we can,
the only
I
thing
don't
I
really
can't
have
do
that
is
luxury because I'm not like talking,
Yeah,
and doing
that's
improv.
true.
I'm kind of just standing there,
like
like.
freezing.
I think for me personally, the first and the last sets are the worst because
Yeah.
the first one I'm not really warmed up yet, and then the last one is like my legs don't work
Yeah.
anymore.
I think my body wants to stop after the second set.
2 and 3 are the two and
For
3 are
sure.
the good ones. Like I'd say
Yeah.
2 is like the best set for me.
Yeah.
It's
Energy-wise.
the act doesn't really lend itself for 4 40-minute shows.
Yeah. It's a good challenge.
The robot, I do the knees a lot.
Yeah,
Not
that
like too
gets
much
tiring.
knee
Yeah.
stuff, but like towards the 3rd set, like when I go down to some of the stuff, I'm like, I can't get back up.
Yeah.
Like
Need to like extra like jump up.
it feels like when I hike like up a long
Yeah.
hill, like and your legs are pretty noodly on
Yeah.
the way back, you're kind of like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And all I have been doing is doing the robot on stage.
Camille
It's like,
and I's fingers were so frozen that during the third set, whatever the last Me and My Baby was, we kept trying to grab our skirts because we swish them around, and we just kept dropping them. We kept dropping our dresses because our fingers were numb. We're like,
I had the same problem. I mean, I had the gloves on, but I was realizing I couldn't. Malfunction was the hardest. I can't form a grip like by the end of the end of the night.
That's a hard song to play too. You know, it's like
and it's not like, oh, your fingers aren't strong enough. It's that you can't feel them because they're numb. And you don't know the pressure. And
that's exactly what it's like dancing too. Like where you're like, I can't. There's no pressure. You can't feel your feet on the ground. So you're like, how do I know what steps I'm actually doing?
So yeah, we had a lot of fun.
It was a really good show. Really good show.
But they are great shows.
They are.
It's like by the end of it, like you feel tired, but like I feel real satisfied.
And I never have so much fun watching an audience because usually you can't see your audience. And here, I was watching, random. Like I watched like an older couple who obviously didn't know who we were. Kind of stop in the middle of one of our sets, and they stood there for the rest of the set, just looking enchanted. And it's just really fun to get to see that energy.
It's a nice mix of because some people with their every show, all 4 of the shows, but it's a nice mix of getting people who were really familiar with the show and then had no idea what was going on, but still had a great time.
Even afterwards, when we're taking pictures, I had a mom and like her young daughter come up to us. Just like in awe of the makeup, and she's like, "What is this? Oh my gosh!" And I like gave her one of our cards, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I missed it, but this looks amazing." And they stood in line to get photos with you all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Disney shows are fun. They definitely remind me of the zoo, and obviously, because it's outside. Though the zoo we played during the day and stuff, and our last set we were home pretty early. So, but just the fans, you see the fans that come up all the time, and that draws in other people a lot more. I think it's a lot more people coming up with the zoo. You have 10,000 people a day during the busiest days, but there's a lot. So when you're doing it 7 days a week, you start to notice the dead days, and then it's literally like you'll see 10 people for one set, and then at the end it might be crowded, but you're just playing to whoever's out there.
But even that, the space you have to fill the zoo is much smaller. Disney is like, you're in the middle of it, so huge. It's like you can go forever if you wanted to. And you really see. They got beyond the Rainforest Cafe, the crowd at some point. I was like,
Halloween was probably the lowest attended one,
which is crazy because I thought it was a really good, like really well attended.
Most people were in the parks
they were
themselves.
in the park because they had the Mickey's trick-or-treat party and stuff, so like I think a lot of people missed it just because they were so spread out in other places.
That Monday
but
after,
I was worried. I was worried because it was so well attended that the next ones weren't going to be. But they were like each one seemed
November
to be, like,
they built up.
The November one was definitely bigger than October from what I remember. And the biggest crowd we had was our second set on December 30th.
Oh yeah,
based on my eyeballs.
Right.
And I'm sure all that has to do with like the timing and stuff. I think
when it got colder, there wasn't as many.
Everyone wanted to get inside, but that magic set.
But it wasn't as cold November, whenever that was the Monday, and so the last set had the most people.
Because not even my parents who like drove up there. I think they did end up staying for all the sets, but like I remember they were really cold. They were they didn't want to stick around the whole time. But like a lot of people did, like a lot of people stuck around the whole time, and that's really cool.
We didn't have body heat on stage.
I always know who's from out of town.
We should have performed in the audience.
It's fun watching the tourists, and like I can always tell exactly like where other people are from because like the people in shorts and tank tops on Saturday night were like, oh, you're obviously from the East Coast or somewhere very cold. Like I'm so sensitive to the cold, but I saw people out there who looked like they were dressed for summer.
I mean, it's not. It was only. It probably got to around 40 later in the evening.
Like when we left, probably.
That's degrees Fahrenheit.
And the
Celsius
moisture in the air did not help.
Oh no, we'd all be dead. You'll be careful. You'll be dead.
But the sweat.
Our set lists were soggy.
It was gross.
It started not because of sweat. Not because of sweat.
No,
it was misting.
It was
Well, because like the November show was cold, but it was a dry cold. This one was way tougher because of the moisture.
All the electronics, which is probably why we had maybe some issues with my frequencies. Were super soaked. So when I got home, I had to dry them all out and stuff. They all work now, but it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, things you don't think about.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't rain. It was just.
Yeah,
like,
but like that's the thing is like if it's raining, you weren't thinking about it. You know, you think about it's like when it's just cold outside and there's misting on you. It's like you can't really prepare. I mean, you can now, but like you're not thinking about that.
So yeah, that was our Disney Bakersfield. That was
Bakersfield
good.
and then Disney. Bryan has now completed a full year's worth of
circuit.
a full circuit of shows.
I did it.
We did a lot. We did a lot of new stuff with you this year.
Totally.
Yeah.
That was the common theme this year. Oh, we've never done this before, but
Yeah, for real.
I'm like, sure. Like,
do you guys want to audition for Disney? Should that a thing we do? Like, sure, why not?
Sure.
Dragon Con?
Dragon Con?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, we had some hit and misses, obviously.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a lot of fun.
The Ren fairs were new this year.
Man.
We've never done those before.
So leg of lamb. That was lots of fun. Or turkey leg. Sorry.
Legoland?
No.
Leg of lamb.
A leg of lamb.
Leg of lamb.
I thought you said Legoland.
Yeah.
We both were like,
you don't remember playing Legoland?
Yeah. Yes, we played
just
Legoland in October 2008.
Really?
Oh,
That's the one park I haven't played at.
Super old. Their sound system wasn't very good. It was on the. It was during the Halloween event.
Yeah.
Did I do something at Knoxbury Farm?
Did you?
I'm trying to think now. I did a show at Six Flags once. I don't think I've ever done one at Knoxbury Farm, but I've done everything in San Diego.
It's gonna be hard to do anything after Disney.
Yeah, you don't want it. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we can't really say anything. But as far as like how cool the park is, like obviously Disney takes the cake.
Yeah.
But as far as how profitable it is for a band,
probably
don't play at Disney.
Yeah, not very profitable. Yeah. But lots of fun.
And by profitable, I mean costs you money to play there.
Yeah.
In the end.
Well, you have to understand that the Disneyland Resort has a bunch of different areas, like parks.
Oh, very true.
Districts. We're in downtown Disney, and they all have their own little teams that run them. So it's not like we're playing Disneyland. Disneyland is a separate thing from where we're playing.
That'd be cool if they put us in there, but this is what we auditioned for.
Yeah. And I think that's the point. It's like to get out there and then say, hey, this is what we can do. So if you ever want to use this again,
it was a challenge in, I guess, endurance.
But
to be fair, Steam Powered Giraffe, that's all it is anyway.
Who can endure? That's all that pretty much anything is how long can you keep it up?
Survivor.
Yeah, so the next show is our anniversary show.
Yeah, we
January 27th.
We got the posters in.
You want to hold one up, Bryan?
Yeah, for those people watching the live stream, if you can watch it. I don't know, is it still working?
Is it?
Yeah, it's working.
I'll get it nice and
semi-close
over there.
So we got our posters in. It's the one that you've seen online with everyone on it.
Look at me, I'm Hatsworth. I'm in the middle. Oh, I'm Evan, and I'm over here. We got everyone back. They're all doing their own.
We'll have them available to purchase at the anniversary show, and VIPs.
Yeah, the VIPs will get them already in their VIP bags if you have that. If you're coming to the show, you can also buy one. I think at the table.
Yeah.
While supplies last. We will also be setting aside some to sell online, but autographed by everyone that we can get to sign them. So if you're
limited
hoping,
quantities.
Yeah, and we'll make sure if you're an Engineer-eteer, you'll get like we'll set aside some just for you guys, and then some for others. There won't be too many because obviously it's a big undertaking.
Mike and John are both doing the Black Widow pose, which is butt towards the camera.
Yeah.
They're doing the female Avenger.
I just noticed that.
Which is like we like to be inclusive and make the males.
I thought that was I really like that poster design that Bunny came up with.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Hatchworth's, the
it's
in the middle.
In like when you like talk about like, oh, how do we want the poster to be? Like it sounds like it won't work because it's just taking a bunch of different pictures.
Yeah,
but I think making it monochrome and having the red.
Love the monochrome.
It looks awesome.
Big fan.
I want a shirt.
I want one.
Yeah. A shirt.
A shirt.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have put that out there.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have people asking now.
T-shirts are tough.
Yeah.
Just because. I mean, we're a small band, so it's hard to sell them.
That's boy, howdy.
Except for when Christmas rolls around, then we're out of stock on everything everyone wants.
Yeah. We got lanyards and totes back in stock. Yay! For everyone who's waiting for those. You can buy those online now.
Did we update the tote quantities? I can't remember.
How much totes
I'll check after this.
About 500.
Got a plethora of totes.
Oh yeah, wait! Did you see the extra box that came in yesterday? They were separated by 2 days.
Yeah, I saw them. I'll have to check that afterwards. I don't remember if we added the new totes.
Some of that taupe.
You want a tote?
Yeah.
It's just a tote.
Is it tote or taupe?
Tote.
I mean, I think
has it been
Tote
tote
bag.
this whole time?
Yes.
Tote
And I've been
bag?
saying taupe bag.
Tote bag.
You said taupe,
I said it
It's
3
tote.
times just today.
but like
no one's ever
Here.
corrected me.
since the beginning of the time.
Since the beginning of time. Yeah.
Oh,
But here's the
boy.
thing: is like I've got a really like deep voice, and people can't understand what I say. So I say it's like stuff like that happens all the time where I mispronounce
And you
things, or if I'm pronouncing things right and they just like hear it differently, and I'm like, okay,
I
this
can
is
see that.
you
I can
know.
see that.
So I've been saying taupe, but
taupe, like the color.
yeah, I've been saying
Oh,
taupe's a color.
Yeah.
What is what
So
color? Oh, I'm
taupe
sorry.
is kind of like that, like
Oh, excuse me.
it's like a kind of an olive green.
Gross.
We should have a
Taupe
tote bag.
color. I have
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was an olive green bag that someone gave me and says, "Here's your taupe bag." It's like, I'll take it.
I mean that's a common problem with
Taupe.
languages is
It's not olive.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, it's kind of like
It's
a
tan. Yeah.
grayish.
It's like what Temecula is made out of. Taupe.
to be fair, most of San Diego County.
It's
It's
made
taupe.
of taupe. No, here's the thing. It's like that's all the new stuff. Like so, I feel like there's and that's a lot of common.
Oh, you mean
combinations.
like the buildings?
Where it's
and
just like yeah. So it's like your shopping center over here is taupe, and then
My
like,
shopping center.
Yeah, your shopping center. Yeah,
You know the one that's red, bright red, not
it's
not taupe at all.
It's not taupe at all. And it's inside.
And it's
in North.
It's in a basement.
It's in North San Diego, past the 78.
There's some business.
Well, the shopping center that's like 8 blocks from your house. See, but like here's the thing: is like if you go to Temecula, like everything looks the same. Everything is just taupe. You know, it's like
Yeah.
nobody even tried to. Nobody tried to have color or any identity. There's like everything just looks the same.
We don't want people to
Browns and beige.
realize people live here
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
freeway.
Tones. Browns and beige.
So when you drive up there, you're trying to find someone's house. You're like, it's one of these houses. Just come outside and see me because I'll never figure it out.
We should figure out more words that you might.
Oh, I'm sure there's a billion of them, and there's also a billion lyrics that I just say wrong all the time.
Oh yeah. I
Like
do that all the
Senor
time.
Night Fever, Night Fever. I thought it was always Senor
Senor.
Night Fever.
Senior
It's
night
not
fever.
though. It's not. This is a
I
common
had some
one.
good ones, but now I can't remember them. Like lyrics, I always said wrong.
I mean, the most popular one is "The Bathroom's on the Right" by
What?
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Wait, what's that? What song
Don't
is that?
come round now. Bad Moon.
Oh, Bathroom's on the right.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
the
know that one.
bathroom's on the right.
John Fogerty, baby. He's one of my favorites. Did you watch his Hall of Fame
No.
introduction? So, it might have been Bruce Springsteen's Hall of Fame introduction, but John Fogerty comes out and sings with Bruce Springsteen, who is, in my opinion, always been doing a John Fogerty impression, like a poor John Fogerty impression. But you hear John Fogerty sing, and he's like an angel. He's got his voice. He's so, and then he's just really trying to. I'm like, John Fogerty's older than you, man. You shouldn't let him do that to you. That's good though.
Okay, anniversary show. Got the posters. Gonna have some autographs. Yeah, the show's coming along nicely. Steve and I. What can we say? There's not much we can say.
we don't want to
Yeah, yeah,
spoil
yeah.
anything.
But
I saw the set list yesterday though.
Set list pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a funny show.
It's
It's why I think it'll be good. I mean, yeah, it'll be great to see all the people that none of you have seen ever on stage with us. But also, how fun would it be to have Zero interact with Upgrade or Hatchworth and stuff
Even
like that?
I'm excited
Which we haven't
about
done.
that.
We haven't done
Like,
in so long.
I'm excited to, even if it's briefly, to be on stage with older robots and
Totally.
stuff.
Yeah.
So and that's the I think that's where a lot of the fun stuff will come from
I think
because
so,
like
too.
it can only happen in one of these kind of
Yeah.
one-time things where we just were able to organize everyone to get together because everyone has their own jobs and don't do music anymore or it's just a one-time thing. So that's the uniqueness of it, not necessarily we get to hear some older songs. Like, of course, that's fun too. But
Yeah.
I think that'll be the takeaway is that wow, that was cool to see John and Zero talk to each other,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like. I mean, I don't know how the time is going to go, but it feels like half the show is going to be the robots talking to each
I
other.
think so too. Well,
Well,
it
yeah. I
comes
mean,
with
it's all
improv.
about the characters,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that's gonna be a good thing to
Well, I mean,
not
look-
just the songs, but give them time to interact.
Yeah. Well, look who you got on stage. It's going to be a lot of talking.
Yeah.
It's, like-
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of talking.
But yeah, we did the logistics for tech and stuff, Steve and I, and it's coming together.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, and
There's going to be a lot to it. lot more work to put into it, but
it'll be worth it.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, we have a sold out show, so it's already a success.
Yeah. That was good. Don't gotta blow it.
I just gotta make sure everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the digital concert ticket, since it's sold out. If I know we've talked about it before, but just in case you haven't heard about it, we have a digital concert ticket for the 10-year anniversary show. You can buy a ticket now. It's literally like buying a video of the concert, but we call it a digital concert ticket because you can buy it now and you'll get to see it the minute it goes live, or not live, but uploaded, because it'll be like a few days later. Yeah.
It won't be a live stream.
No.
To clear it up.
There's no way we're going to deal with a stream cutting out when people pay the money.
No.
But yeah, I mean, our plan is to have it out within like a week of the show, I think.
Yeah. I put 7 days because I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I can do it in a few hours, unless something goes wrong. But, transferring the audio and the video.
Oh, that stuff takes a lot of time.
The longest thing for editing a concert video is that you record all the raw files and then you have to mix it like it's an album, because that's just how the recording goes. But for something like this, we're recording it as it is live, if that makes any sense to anyone. Because how Steve mixes it for the people in the auditorium or in the theater is different than what we would put on at like a Blu-ray. Because the Blu-ray, we're just taking all the raw inputs and just recording them track by track, and then we have to mix that separately to make something. That's what takes the longest. But here we're just taking whatever he mixes in the house and using that as the basis for it. So there's not going to be much editing other than camera.
But you never know. You never know what's going on. So
you never know. We have no idea.
It's good to give that buffer.
It might take 7 days, but it
might
take
2 days, and you'll be surprised, and then you'll be
I would expect more. But the 7 days is definitely buffer is the oh crap. Time, the footage gets corrupted or audio something, but we have some redundancies, so it'll be good. I don't know why it's important to me to say redundancies. It's not like anyone out there's thinking it's not going to work, but
I don't know.
But there's going to be a way to watch the show.
There's some doubt. I feel a lot of doubt out there.
And you know what? And I think by the end of it, I know it's a 10-year anniversary show, so we can't really judge. It might be something we do in the future, like once a year, where we do a digital concert ticket.
Interesting.
In addition to some of the free live streams we do too. Just so, I don't know, just because there's a lot of support for it and it's definitely helping because we had to upgrade Steve's board. Yeah. We had to buy some new equipment just for the show because we have so many people on stage. We just ran out of stuff that we could rent and stuff. So it's all great because we couldn't do it without doing a digital ticket. So hopefully. Yeah. I hope by the end of it, it's like it ends up being worth it. It seems like even a small amount of people, because they're like using their dollar to say, I want to watch this show, like it gives me hope for the future of like Steam Powered Giraffe or something.
Totally.
Like even if somehow we can't do live shows anymore because we can't travel because someone has a sinus infection. I don't know. I'm making up something.
My sinuses are starting to act up.
I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically, something like a digital concert ticket's not a terrible idea. I mean, obviously, seeing it in person is way better than seeing a video of it. But it's expensive to put on the show, and being able to not worry about that with people who want to see it. Is like, oh, this is actually doable. Yeah. I don't know though. The only reason we can do it though, and even though we haven't finished it, so it's kind of like is like if we had to pay people to actually, do it for us, I don't think we would break even.
No, not
like
at all.
When I'm crunching numbers, I'm like, maybe if you got some friends to do it, but because we're able to do it ourselves. It's like the cost is nothing because we're just doing it.
Yeah, there's no cost of labor.
Yeah, so I think that's why it'll work. And thanks for your support, people who already purchased digital tickets, and of course people who bought tickets to the actual show.
I kind of have a question based on a question being asked on the Engineer-eteers site. I believe in the description for the digital concert ticket, it says that they will get access to clips from rehearsals. Is that and just to make sure that's not going to be anything live streamed, right?
No. It's all going to be recorded stuff.
Okay, yeah, because just there was I like saw a couple comments wondering if you will live stream the rehearsals, and I don't think you want to spoil it.
No, we're not going to spoil it.
But there will be some recordings that digital concert ticket holders will get to see,
and it's not going to
later.
It'll most likely be at the end of the concert video, I'm imagining it could potentially be a separate video, but to make it easier, it probably will just be a part of that digital concert video, and then when you finish it, you can watch it be at the end of it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
But
while the credits roll,
something like that.
The bloopers.
No, I'll probably just drop them in at the end.
No, you should
with the least amount of editing.
No, you got to make credits.
Not making credits.
No, but like it's all super long, but it's just you. So it's like key grip, David Bennett, like producer, David Bennett, director, David Bennett, written by David Bennett. Do that.
Sound by Steve McGrady.
Yeah.
No, if I have to,
Great idea by Brian Barber.
Type up credits, that's extra time that people at
but
home
think of
could
the
be
hilarity.
watching it.
Think of the hilarity you'll get later.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Done that joke before. Not with Steam Powered Giraffe. Probably when I was like first starting like editing. You know when you get your first camcorder and then you get like. I probably use Adobe Premiere or something.
Of course.
Or Final Cut, and you're just like, I'm ready.
Adobe
I'm ready
Premiere. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I still use. I still use the Adobe Suite.
Do you really? Yeah.
I mean, it works together with After Effects, and I mean, it's kind of the standard.
I feel
PC,
like what's the other one? Is that besides
Final Cut?
Besides Final Cut, there's a newer one that people be using.
DaVinci. It's more like color grading.
Yeah.
That's for the Blackmagic stuff. I think.
Anyways, yeah, I like Final Cut. That's what I was using.
I mean, it's what the Adobe kind of. It's just like, well, it kind of works, and that's how I feel with Adobe. Like you like that, you like because everything's supposed to link together, but like it never works.
Never does. Yeah.
But when it does, you get some cool things like overdrive and stuff, and those worked. I mean, with a lot of errors and rendering errors, and you're like, wait, why is that glow overlapping this glow? Like, that shouldn't happen. But anyways, yeah, but because it all works together, you can just throw in, Photoshop files, and you still get all the layers, and it does work. When it does work, it works great.
Works good, yeah.
What are we?
Cool.
Was that a question?
Questions? Is that what you're
Oh, it's just kind of.
We both look at you
let's
like,
do it.
Yeah.
What's up?
Wait, before we get into questions, has anyone seen any good movies lately, or do we want to talk about the movies we've seen?
Well, I mean, Shape of Water.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
Coco?
I saw Coco.
Okay.
I really liked Coco.
You saw Coco now?
I saw Coco.
Yeah, I really like Coco.
I really like Shape of Water too.
I really like Shape of Water.
Those are two movies I liked this year.
I'm
sure there were others, but I can only think about the last.
There were others earlier. I really liked Logan.
Oh, Logan was pretty good.
I like Logan until like the last 10 minutes of it.
yeah.
That's about it.
I don't think kids are a very strong.
They were very good, but it didn't ruin the movie for me because the rest of the movie was so exceptional that the kids honestly didn't even bother me.
And X-23, she was the best.
Oh,
I thought she was really good.
Yeah.
But here's my biggest thing about it is why did none of those other kids speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Why was she the only one to speak
know.
Spanish? That didn't make any sense to me. And it would have made it so much better if they all spoke Spanish because then I wouldn't have to hear them say the terrible lines and their terrible little voices.
One of my favorite,
she was good, but the rest of the kids
really
were great.
I love the part where she talks for the first time after she brings him to the hospital and they're like arguing in the car and he's like, shut the F up! And they're just like screaming at each other.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Dunkirk was good.
Dunkirk was good.
I really liked Dunkirk.
That was
no, I saw a lot of good movies this year. Now I'm thinking about if I go
just,
back to Logan.
Last year was last month. That's all.
Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman came out this year.
Didn't Guardians of the Galaxy come out this year?
Oh,
that was
good.
I like that one.
Really like that.
See, it's like so long ago that it felt like
and
it wasn't even this year.
He was a star of the movie.
Oh, he crushed it in that movie.
Wonder Woman,
Wonder Woman was good.
I liked Justice League.
Didn't see it. I refused to.
It's why?
I'm tired of crap.
It's not crap.
It's they had their chance.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'll see Wonder Woman again. I'll see another one.
I'll see that 2 times in a row.
Justice League is like the perfect movie to watch at home.
I'll watch it at home. I'll watch it at home for sure.
It feels like one of the 90s cartoons. It's like just corny enough and like I thought it was really fun.
Yeah,
it wasn't like super gritty and stuff.
Yeah, I just had to get over the storytelling. Once I get over like they're trying to do something new with Justice League. Like I can sit down and enjoy it, but like it's just frustrating for me to see all these great storylines and see all these great connections, and then like to give me something like that. I'm like, well, all right, okay, all right.
Oh man,
but the characters are great.
There is a bunch of like there's a bunch of shots from the early trailers.
Oh yeah,
like. Pretty much half the movie isn't even in the final cut.
Yeah,
and they changed a lot.
Rogue One too. Was like, where did all these scenes go?
Yeah.
And then kind of like brush it together at the end and made it happen, made a movie.
I know a lot of people who felt robbed because like they didn't get the Justice League movie that was supposed to.
Remember back in the day when they showed the whole movie in the trailers?
Yeah.
They still do that. Back
in the day, they just like. and then this happens, and here's this plot twist.
Yeah, twist.
Come see the whole movie, though. We just summed it up for you in 6 minutes, but whatever.
Man. Well, they did that. They did that this year with Kingsman 2, which I did not like, and I loved the first Kingsman. But
wait, you didn't like the second Kingsman?
I did not like it.
I didn't
like
see it. I don't really feel like
I
don't feel like it's a movie I need to see a sequel for.
No, I mean, I wanted it. I wanted it though because I love James Bond. I love spy movies and stuff like that. And they were actually using it was like a nice futuristic gadget James Bond movie. Like that's what I was so. And the gadgets and stuff like that in the second one were good, but I feel like number one, giving up. That's not Michael Caine. Colin Firth. Giving up Colin Firth in the trailer was absolutely ridiculous.
I was like, okay,
absolutely ridiculous.
It was hard to suspend disbelief in the movie. I was like, I don't know, like bringing them back to life. It was
unnecessary, and they spent so much time with that character and like trying to bring him back. I'm like, that was so unnecessary, so unnecessary. And I didn't really like. I didn't like the villain either.
The lady.
Yeah.
I liked everything else other than the plot, the thing that they ruined in the trailer.
What else? I thought Thor Ragnarok was fun.
I like Thor.
I am not a Marvel fan these days. I'm really tired of Marvel, and I enjoy Thor.
I'm the opposite. DC's dropping.
I love Marvel.
Or DC hasn't even picked up the ball yet.
Yeah.
Maybe with Wonder Woman.
Are you kidding me? Wonder Woman
was
like the best movie of the year.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: it's like Wonder Woman.
Best action movie of the year.
It was so far from anything that DC has done.
Yeah.
So far from it.
Sure,
and that's what made it. But that's what made it so good.
Yeah. I would agree.
But the direction that DC is going in is, and they're continue to go in because I feel like they're about to do something else crazy. Where I'm like, why? You have to build. You have to build your audience. You have to build your movies. You're just throwing Suicide Squad off and ruining. Yeah. You ruined like 12 villains because you didn't take the time to develop these characters. You just made them.
Was that that was last year, right? That wasn't this year, was it?
Whatever.
Suicide. Yeah, that was last year.
That feels.
That
wasn't very good.
August 2016.
It's still fresh in my.
I think that's the worst of all of them.
Oh yeah,
so fresh
by far.
wounds still, and it's just like you figure out what you want to do because they're trying to please everybody. Instead of just telling a story, like Margot Robbie wants to. I'm talking about Suicide Squad again, but like, is it Margot Robbie's movie? Is it about Harley Quinn? Is it about Deadshot? Like, figure out what you want to do because having a movie about both of them doesn't make any sense.
Well, I've never seen a movie fall victim so hard to editing.
Oh yeah,
it was like it literally like. You could kind of see what the movie was underneath, but the editing was so bad. Like, they butchered it.
Oh, my God.
They absolutely butchered
it. Pointless. They spent so much time saving Waller. Like you spent all this time saving Amanda Waller? Are you kidding me? Like, that was half the movie.
There were a lot of missed opportunities as far as comedy is concerned, like when Captain Boomerang just, like, up and splits. Yeah. When she's like, I turned the chips off. You can leave if you want. And he just bolts out of frame, and it was like a really funny moment, and he should have stayed gone, but then they brought him back for the slow-mo walking towards the camera scene, and I was like, nope, you ruined it.
What other movie? Dark Tower.
We're not going to talk about the Dark Tower. And I think we also need to talk about the movie of the year that everyone's talking about.
Pew 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 pew.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because I think that was my most fun I had watching, except for the Groot scenes.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
No.
Really?
I loved the first one, and Camille and I, we were like really sad afterwards because it was one of those movies that we wanted to like, but it didn't.
I think we probably have a podcast where we're all talking about it.
I don't know. No, I've never talked about it.
I've seen it like 25 times.
I saw it twice. I never see movies more than once, but I saw that one twice.
I liked the first one a lot.
I love them. I love them all.
Second one fell flat for me.
I mean, there's moments that fall flat. I think a lot of the Nebula moments fall flat for me.
Well,
but other than
for
that,
me, it's the relentless jokes.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be funny. I know that it's supposed to be funny. The first one was good, but it was like every 5 seconds, like someone was getting knocked in the head, mid-sentence, that kind of stuff, like really got to me. And I was like, it keeps pulling me out of the moment.
That's what I felt about Star Wars.
Yeah,
Star Wars
that's the one I was talking about.
I didn't feel that way about Guardians, but I felt that way at Star Wars.
No, that's what I was going to say. We need to talk about the movie.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Do we have to? You can just look up online.
Let's not talk about Star Wars.
It's about 50-50% divided.
I don't want to put a bad taste in anyone's mouth, but like I like it. I like the movie. There's a lot of things that I really, really liked about it, but there's a lot of things that just didn't. didn't fit in. They didn't fit in, and like a lot of that comedy was a big part of it.
Once again, it was
like,
the comedy.
You are ridiculous. You're trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy, and you're just.
I was just gonna say it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy,
trying it.
and it did not.
That's what
work.
Thor Ragnarok did too.
Yeah,
it was like, oh well,
I get it.
This comedy.
Guardians is
it's
popular.
Like, cool. But you know
I mean, I knew we were headed for trouble when like 2 minutes into the movie we've got that crank call thing.
Yeah. Oh, your mom.
Like,
your mom.
Me?
You using your mom joke in Star Wars?
Yeah.
All right.
I was just sitting there like, oh no.
I was just like,
oh no.
My biggest gripe with both the movies.
We're a galaxy full of quippers.
I'm gonna say this, yeah, right. My biggest gripe is the way that they use Chewbacca. Chewbacca is like a comedy, like knockoff all of a sudden character, and he's got so much depth, and he's so sensitive throughout the first couple movies, you know. And like, if you really think about Chewbacca, and you want to go back to the prequels, like Chewbacca and Yoda. Like Chewbacca is one of the most important characters in the Star Wars universe, and to not have him grieve with Princess Leia, not have him grieve with Luke Skywalker, not have a moment with him, like there's so many opportunities. And even now Kylo Ren, like, Chewbacca was a part of raising Kylo Ren. So, like, is that going to be an issue, or is he just going to? I mean, it just feels like he's just a comedy trope, and that hurts me. You know, that's
there's a lot of missed opportunities with the character development.
I agree.
I remember when Force Awakens came out, like J.J. Abrams, like, actually like publicly apologized for when when
Chewie walks
he comes
by
back
Leia?
and Leia walks right past Chewie to hug Rey, and everyone was like, "What are you doing?"
So frustrating to see
he,
that.
Actually apologized for that.
Yeah, he should have.
Because I mean, I like The Force Awakens, but I kind of felt like, okay, what I want to see where this is going, but I feel like, I don't know, the Han and just my own opinion, the Han and what's her name?
Rey.
Yeah.
It was
memorable character.
I think that was Force.
Oh, of course it was.
The father.
I was like, I don't know. Did that happen? Were they best friends by the end of the movie?
There was not
because
not
in
enough.
Last Jedi, she's like,
not enough time.
She's like crying and talking about like, you killed your father and blah.
I mean, I get it. She didn't have anyone. It was someone who was a father figure, but I just didn't feel it going through the movie.
I didn't buy it.
Not enough time.
And that's not like bad acting. I think it's just how the story is.
No, I don't think
she's not a bad actor,
great.
and I mean, this is all opinion.
Yeah.
I think another one of my big gripes with this new Star Wars, especially The Last Jedi, is the it feels very meta, and like everyone knows they're in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like, okay, when Finn was like, "Oh, may the Force be with you," and that Rose character's like, "Whoa!" I was like, this isn't funny because it's like it's obviously very tongue in cheek. Like, oh, he said the thing. Like, I know that because it's Star Wars.
I like movies that.
Do you remember
that if you had to that if you didn't know anything about Star Wars, that you could still.
I don't
mean,
care.
Plot points
like,
are one thing.
I get
but
it. She's like a fangirl for the famous the rebels, but I'm not buying it. To me, it's just like it's very breaking the fourth wall.
I agree.
And like Star Wars is a franchise now. Look at he said the famous line, and like I was like, okay, when Han, in the right before the Death Star battle in A New Hope, when Han said it to Luke, Luke wasn't all like, Han's like, "May the Force be with you," and Luke just like walks away. It's just a thing, like world building. Luke wasn't all like, "Oh my god, he said the thing." Like, I just hate that that the way they write characters to make them so like, I'm in a Star Wars movie. I'm like, oh my god.
They did it with Rey too, with like, what is the Force? Moving rocks around and like, no, because if you make fun of it, now it's not fun for me. It's like, not fun for me if you're making fun of this. Yeah, exactly.
They're talking about things within their own universe like a fan would, and it pulls me out of the movie. I hate it so much.
I mean, there's so many factors in this. I mean, you got someone who's heading the film, and to me, it felt like, oh, how does this connect to the last movie I just saw?
It didn't.
I felt like like where are the motivations? Like where's everything that happened in the last one?
Yeah.
It felt like he was slapping JJ down every opportunity. He was like, "Stupid helmet. That was a stupid choice." Oh, you think Snoke's important? He's not. Well, you think this? Well, it's not.
He was trying to go in a completely new direction.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fine with that. Like
but they went about it all wrong. And another thing that's bothering me about the fans online, the people who liked it, are saying, "Oh, the haters just don't like it because it's not the story they wanted." And
I think the story as it is fine.
I wouldn't have. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I don't have a problem with any of the character choices that they chose to make.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the way it was executed. I think it was poorly edited. I think it was poorly written.
That's pretty much what
like.
I feel.
I'm not liking the fact that just because I didn't like the movie, people are like, saying you just need to learn how to enjoy it.
No,
like you just don't know how to enjoy things. I'm like, I do know how to enjoy things.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was a
I'll
movie.
go watch Shape of Water and be like, yes,
really
brilliant.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean, it does have a lot riding on it because it is Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it was that's the hard part about it is like, it's unique because it's this thing that we have expectations for, but at the same time, like I wasn't excited to go see the movie.
Well,
you have to make a good movie at the end of the day. Like,
I sat through the prequels, and this was the first Star Wars movie that halfway through I wanted to leave.
Yeah,
like
I mean, and it wasn't like, I don't like he did that. Like you can have those thoughts too, but that doesn't necessarily ruin the movie.
It wasn't even like I don't like the character choice they made, or I don't like this plot choice they made. It was for me, a lot of it was I'm bored. Like I don't think the
missed opportunities.
It's paced very badly.
I don't like not that I did this for that one, but I don't like rewriting the script in my head as I'm watching it. I like to be pulled in, but to be fair, that also could be because it's Star Wars, and it's like you can't watch it without knowing the history and and it's hands changing and stuff.
At the end of the day, I like to tell people who really like the film, I was like, do you want to see it again? How many times do you want to see it? And I don't feel like there's even a need. Like no one's like, oh yeah, I've seen it 5 times.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
I mean, I've seen some stuff on Facebook of people who are like, this is the best. I've seen it 5 times already.
But not much.
To each their own.
Cool. It made a ton of money. So does it even matter that some people don't like it?
I mean, they'll be making Star Wars movies long after I'm dead. So it doesn't matter at this point.
It
wasn't as bad as the Transformers movie.
Oh, good lord!
Because that's a different type of bad. I suppose.
Anything is bad.
But hey, let's talk about something good in the movie, so people out there who are love with Star Wars know that we saw the same movie.
Totally. Well, here's the thing I really liked about it is that Poe Dameron fails.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that about it, because I mean, I feel like that the whole mentality of this is a war. I'm gonna blow stuff up. There's got to be more. There's got to be more to it, and I feel like that is. Effect. That's also what we're dealing with in our world. We live in a world that we're in a constant war. I mean, there's not a year in our history that we haven't been in a war. So to have all these women generals up there with different ideas of how we need to get out of these wars, I thought that was a very cool.
Sure.
I think that was my favorite aspect about the new movies.
Yeah.
And also it was beautiful. It was cinematography. It was beautiful. Like
that hyperspace scene.
The hyperspace.
Am I right?
I mean, it is like an overpowered thing. Like, wait, can we just do that without people in the ships?
I guess so.
But how they did it, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
well, this ain't Star Trek. Okay, this is Star Wars.
A lot of that is suspension of disbelief because when it happened, immediately I was thinking, okay, wait, why haven't we just like flown a little X-wing into like the Death Star and stuff?
I
mean, X-wings.
You kind of have to like not think about.
But at that point in the movie, if that ruins the movie for you, there's so much else that would fall apart, Because the whole movie, to critique the story, I don't know. I started saying good things. The characters are just going from one situation they don't have under control to another.
Yeah,
and pointless plots that don't go anywhere. And then in the end, it's like, okay, there's a resolution, but
I think,
why did we have to watch the horse dogs run?
If we're talking about like,
they didn't even need to go there.
So unnecessary.
If we're talking about like screenwriting, I do think a lot of the reason I did not like this movie was because yes, by the end of the movie, it doesn't feel like anyone's accomplished anything.
No.
Everyone's exactly where they were in the beginning, as far as like, character motivation, progress, or whatever.
The Rey and Kylo Ren scenes, those were pretty good.
Yeah, I like those. I like. There's the only relationship or only characters that actually move forward.
If they could just cut out, I mean, I like the actors and the characters of who are doing the going the gambling planet and that stuff. But that whole plot was pointless.
I feel bad because that they didn't give.
And then
Finn anything to do in this
BB-8's
movie.
like is the
he's
best robot in the
unnecessary.
world
He's
now.
unnecessary character.
I do
He's an
too.
unnecessary
I feel so
character.
bad for saying that because like a lot of people like him, but he's.
I like him too, but he's.
I
here's the
like
thing,
him, but I wish they gave him more of a reason to exist.
'Cause his arc- he has no arc now.
He's a
Yeah.
failure as a stormtrooper. Okay, he's a failure as a stormtrooper, which means he's not very good at war.
And that could
which
be a really interesting
means-
character.
Yeah. But like, and everyone talks about Kylo Ren's. You know, be grown up in this
High
and
pants.
having no, but like having to go through this environment of
Yeah.
being an evil and then turning good. But that was Finn's story. He grew
Yeah.
up in evil and then he became good, which is cool, which is very very cool. But like, if the next movie is just going to be like, oh, we got to get in the Death Star, who knows what the closet is? Finn does. Then you're absolutely
They're
you're
not doing
pointless
anything with
character.
this.
Yeah,
The
because he's a
idea-
janitor. He's a janitor.
Yeah.
You know, and to have him fight Phasma and like hold his own, I'm like, that's not believable to me. And then all of a sudden you're a pilot again,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's not believable to me. And this movie just happened. It's right after the last movie, so you haven't had any time to get any training and stuff like that. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I think the direction that they were going in with Finn at the end, if they would have just finished it, finished that idea,
I agree.
I think it would have made that movie a lot better, and I feel like it would have made his character.
It would have given his character a purpose.
Oh my God, it would
that
have
was
so-
the
it would have
dumbest
had
decision
so
in the movie, I
much-
thought.
It would have had so much, and everybody laughed at it, and I didn't.
Oh
everyone
my
laughed at it in the
God.
audience, and I felt bad. I feel bad because the girl delivers the line. She's great, man. She delivers the lines best she could, but like it just wasn't. It didn't have a moment. It felt weird.
that moment.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
say that was the worst moment in the movie for me.
I mean,
like,
it felt like the director was subverting expectations,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's cool up to a point, but at the end of the day, like, how does that fit into the universe?
Yeah, I have major problems with the Rose character because she's basically just there to be a pander to fangirls.
yeah.
She doesn't have a point. Her character is pointless.
I didn't know she
And
was
I
going
was-
to go
I
through the
was
whole rest of the movie.
really-
I thought she was just for that scene.
I was
Me
really
too.
disappointed that Finn has not gotten like an actual storyline. Because, like I said, the idea of his character, Stormtrooper turned rebel, is really interesting, and they
it
haven't
was
done
cool to
anything
have
with
him
it.
because you think, oh, is he going to be the Jedi? Oh no, it's going to be the other guy.
But
Yeah.
but I wanted that
I wa-
force sensitiveness. I wanted that.
I really wanted him
did.
to like be force sensitive.
And I don't need him to
in
be
this
like
movie.
a Jedi, but I, like just
whatever.
like having that like a little bit, I feel like would have put him in a different direction.
It's
but
always really fun to see non-Jedi characters use lightsabers,
Yeah, it
like
is,
Han in Empire, and I loved watching Finn use the lightsaber very clumsily
Yeah,
in Force
yeah.
Awakens. And,
can I just, because the whole casino scene was pointless.
it was episode 1 through 3.
Can I, what made it so good? Number one, did you like Benicio del Toro?
I hated him.
I liked him.
Really?
I thought he was number one. I thought he was like the best
Okay.
actor to walk on screen.
He was
I'm like,
a-
thank
he-
God.
He was,
Well-
yeah,
A
he was
good actor.
definitely
In a
interesting
different movie,
character,
I would have
but-
liked him, but once again, I felt like after the end of it all, why
was
was
pointless.
he was
There was no-
pointless?
But he's
That's
a-
why I hated him.
He's a
Arc,
proper scoundrel.
Yeah,
Proper
yeah.
scoundrel. Yeah. But you're right. Like the way they dismiss him at the end is like ridiculous.
But
I
BB-8
thought it was gonna be Lando though.
Thank you. That would have made it.
yeah,
That would
yeah.
have made it so
we
much
need a
better.
code breaker.
Oh my
You're
God.
going to meet our gambler and our code breaker.
If
And
it
they go to
was
the
just
casino and it's
Lando.
like Lando.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like,
And if it's just,
what?
and they don't need anything because whoever the guy they used for the lapel was
Yeah.
ridiculous
They're
looking and pointless.
Missing so many
But had it been
opportunities.
Lando, it would have just skipped my heartbeat down the corner.
And what's really sad is apparently like he wants to be in the movies. Like Billy D. Williams has said that he's.
Hey, JJ
he's
can
really
still rewrite the
interested.
script.
Oh my
He can-
God.
That's just
he
what
can
I've
make it
heard.
all work. He can
Oh
make it all work
I've
for the
heard
last
that
one.
he like really wants to be in the new Star Wars
Yeah.
movies, and they haven't reached out to him. And I'm like, come on. But I just want to clarify that, like, oh, Lando wasn't the gambler. That's not the kind of stuff I don't like the movie for. Like,
No.
these
not
are
at
just
all.
nitpicks.
Not at all.
We're nitpicking, but like, if anyone wants to get on my case for not liking the movie, those aren't the reasons why.
No,
Yeah,
no.
for sure.
So
But BB-8, what? You can't.
a chicken walker, a chicken
can't.
walker.
He's just it's
Ridiculous.
it's just
Ridiculous.
like it's nice when he does something that's like, oh, that he's unexpected, like because he's not meant to do that.
Yeah.
But
it was way
this
too
is
much.
just like,
way too much.
you can take the whole empire. Just get a bunch of BB-8s.
Yeah, seriously.
Have it roll up into the.
And then, but even like the Empire robot, like the Empire robot figured out, like, shut up! I don't need that. I don't need that nonsense in my movie. But yeah.
But what else is cool? What
I
else
love
is
Mark
cool?
Hamill.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to comment on the choices they made for his character, but Mark Hamill himself is
brilliant.
a national treasure. I love him.
He's great in the movie.
I love seeing him actually play Luke again.
I liked seeing Yoda as a puppet, but
Yeah.
I guess it was the wrong Yoda to use for that scene because
Yes.
as Red Letter Media said, they
pointed
out that he isn't Yoda it was very serious
and wise. And
but they used the caricature of him when he's
Empire.
so yeah, when he first meets Luke in the swamp,
Which is
pretending to be kooky and everything.
Yeah. And they kind of used that in this one and I'm like, wait,
he acted
that's
all
not
like,
him.
Yeah, but does Luke know Yoda besides that?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
I mean,
he
he
trained-
meets him, I guess.
When he
knows
first
him.
brings him to his hut in Empire,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
starts
I watched the
talking
scene
to Obi-Wan,
and-
and his demeanor totally changes.
Yeah.
You will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
then, and I, of course, I forgot about that because I mean, I didn't go and watch the Star Wars. movie
Yoda's
for
not
it, but-
like Yoda's not.
But
crazy
yeah, that
and
was
kooky.
I don't think that would have ruined it for the audience because I think the audience
No.
would have just
I
accepted
I mean,
it.
he
But
went
it
the whole
was- I think it
prequels
was
being
the
his
wrong
serious
choice.
self
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
didn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
but I mean,
Whatever.
it's coming out of a very
could-
when Mark Hamill, I mean, when Luke's character is trying to be too serious.
It was a
you
good,
know,
it
kind
was
of
Yeah.
breaking that tension
So
and being
yeah,
like,
he
hey,
could be doing it like he could be playing around with him.
failure.
And I mean,
most importantly,
But I like the
Eternity
scene. I
probably
like the
gets
scene, though.
boring. He's
It was the
probably
best-
like having a lot of fun,
Yeah.
It
like
was
hanging around on
the
that
best.
island.
I think it was the best scene. Like
Yeah.
as far as like, what's the point? Like
Yeah.
if the movie
I
has to
liked
speak
that.
something,
Yeah.
I liked
what
that
Yoda
scene.
says is like the point of the movie.
That's what.
If-
And
yeah.
my good friend, his daughter is 5, and she loves Star Wars. She loves it,
Yeah.
and like
She did.
no. But here's the thing: it's like, and that's where I get at. It's like it's not really for us. We're adults,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
she loved that movie, and when Yoda came on and said those lines, like she thinks about it all the time. You know, that's
That's-
all she could say at New Year's.
That's what's
all she
important.
I
could
mean,
talk about.
I
was like,
love-
that's what I'm talking about.
I love Street
bro.
Sharks too, but it was a terrible cartoon.
Hey, me too. I have all the Street Sharks.
I mean, honestly, if this whole movie had just been
Street
like
Sharks and Gargoyle.
old cranky Luke being followed around the island by annoying
Yeah.
ghost Yoda, I
Yeah.
would have sat
That
through
would've
that
been okay.
whole
Yeah.
movie.
And you know what? I think we need a smaller Star Wars movie
I think
do.
so too.
because character development I think is what people want, and you get a little bit of it, but then it's convoluted by these like, oh no, explosions! Oh no, we can stay just out of their range. They totally can't send a ship
Ridiculous.
from the front
So
or the side.
ridiculous.
I'm a pessimist, and I'm taking bets now that Episode 9 will feature a super weapon the size of a
Wolverine.
planet.
Going back in time
Wolverine.
and fixing it so X-Men
No.
X-Men 3 doesn't happen.
No.
X3
No,
doesn't
I
happen.
guarantee you, Episode 9 is going to have a super weapon
Oh, for sure.
shaped like a planet
For sure.
because they can't do anything.
Because JJ's doing the last one of the
He's doing
trilogy,
the last
right?
one. But you're setting it up. You're setting it up as for a villain showdown.
Yeah.
So, you know, which I think is the correct idea. Make Kylo the weapon that's going to take over the world.
You know what? A lot of people
Okay.
wanted and this is, I know this is spoilers, but a lot of people wanted the Grey Jedis to happen, which was a thing that in some of the extended universe stuff.
Where are the Knights of Ren?
Yeah.
That we talked about.
That would've
we've
been
talked
cool.
about that. Where are they?
Maybe they are the Grey
Oh,
Jedis.
Maybe that flash she has in Force Awakens where she sees them.
Yeah.
There's a theory that she was seeing the future.
Maybe
in that scene.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? It
But
could
I
be
mean, and
anything.
he mentions it. He says he took a dozen of my students and they left.
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
Where
cool.
are they?
But
Where
it
are they?
totally works into him saying like, "There's no darker light." Like,
Yeah.
and then Grey Jedis.
Oh
But
yeah.
all I've ever wanted is a Darth Vader movie where he hunts down Jedis. You know, I want a movie that's
yeah.
full of lightsaber battles. Like, why is that so hard
That'd be cool,
for
too.
them? Like Clone Wars.
Did you
Like,
notice-
why can't I have?
Yeah.
Why wasn't the Clone Wars just them fighting with lightsabers? Like,
Well, we
it
had that.
is-
We had episode 1 through 3.
Oh my god!
Did you
no,
notice that
no.
not a single
Great.
person, not a single lightsaber blade hit another in this
Oh,
movie?
I did. Oh, I noticed. Yeah, tremendously. And then there's like a poster. There's like a poster. It's got it's like Obi-Wan versus Vader, Luke versus Vader.
I
or
saw
whatever.
that.
And then it's Kylo Ren and Rey versus these guys in red
Yeah.
costumes. Like,
Red costumes.
sweet. Oh, that's great.
I mean, that was a pretty badass
I like
scene.
that.
That was
As far as the movie goes.
Yeah. But I've
But-
had better fight
Yeah,
scenes.
no.
I like Rey, but the standout new character in this trilogy is Kylo Ren.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
he's the
He's
most
yeah,
interesting.
I agree.
And what was I gonna say? I really like his whole deal, like his whole thing of like, I want let's just get rid of everything old.
I wasn't not on his side when he was talking.
It was kind of hard.
Yeah, I guess you're making a lot of sense.
Because by the end of the movie, I was getting very tired of the callbacks to old ones. Yeah. Remember this? Remember the Millennium Falcon? Remember, this is Star Wars.
They hate that ship.
When he was all like, blow it out of the sky, and he was like so
it's like
angry.
It's like someone's running over to the headset to say that they're equipped. They're like, oh, I got a good one.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I turned to Camille and I was like, honestly, I think Kylo Ren's the most relatable character in this movie because I too want to get rid of everything old and recognizable about Star Wars. Give me something fresh and new. And I was like, I feel you, Kylo Ren.
Maybe the end will be that to bring balance to the Force, you don't need a great evil and a great good. You just need balance. Somewhere in between. Maybe that's a great Jedi.
I would really like to see him and Rey join forces and like balance the Force.
See what goes on.
Because and that's because that's what Anakin did. In like the one clever thing about the prequel, the whole stupid prophecy thing is that the Jedi were stupid. They thought that Anakin was gonna bring balance to the Force by killing off all the Sith. Yeah. But he brought balance to the Force by becoming a Sith and wiping out the Jedi because
there was too many Jedi.
There were too many Jedi, and I always thought that was clever.
He also kills the Sith. Like everyone forgets that.
Well, he gets rid of all of them.
But Anakin fulfills a prophecy by killing the Empire. Like everyone forgets about that. But like the prophecy was 100% true. Like he might have killed a lot of Jedi's, but he also destroys the Sith, and Sith are no more.
For all their flaws, I always thought that was clever about the prequel story. Yeah. So anyway,
so Star Wars.
Star Wars. We had to talk about it.
Well, did anyone see the Bright movie on Netflix?
I did.
No.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was like a buddy cop movie, but with fantasy elements.
Yeah. You want to talk about like I know Chance the Rapper was talking about the racial parts of it, and I'm like he's 100% right because it's not. There's no way to be able to take something like that and make it really meaningful.
Exactly.
No,
that's what I've been hearing.
And it's like, I mean, why would you even think it could?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard that people were complaining.
Very surface of what's happening in real life, but it's not enough to be like, this is a powerful movie.
Not at all. But it was very fun. It was a very fun movie. I'll tell you that much. And I really liked Will Smith and Joel Edgerton's chemistry.
Unfortunately, I think. I mean, I know a lot of people are watching it and liking it, but I think that all the critics are panning it. I think because of what you said, that's what I saw.
The Rotten Tomatoes score the critic score is super low, and then the audience score is like 80 something.
But that's the thing is is it supposed to be a commentary on today's thing?
Well, it's
maybe,
but like Zootopia, I mean, everyone's gonna love that movie. Like it was the same, it's the same exact stuff. Like they're dealing with racial issues on such a small, slender level,
very digestible one.
So it's like that's what's gonna happen. You're never gonna.
It doesn't make it a bad movie though.
No,
I don't think it ever set out to be.
No, I don't think so either. I think
I get it though. I get that. Yes, that movie did not hit the mark of what you wanted. But,
of course not. But I loved it.
Of elves flying around with knives killing people. It did that.
And I was thinking about this while I was playing The Witcher. I was like, wow, how cool would it be to have like a modern time where all that stuff is still around. So like your delivery guy has to fight through ferries. He has to fight through all the stuff to get to your house.
Like
that. I always thought that would be a fun idea, and I like that aspect of it, like a modern world with all of those different races in there.
Did you know
and I thought they did a good job of that.
They're making a Witcher TV show on Netflix.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's got
is it live action?
And it's got a female lead.
Helming the project. Yeah, she's like in charge of the project.
And she's like, she's like tweeting the books.
I'm so
and stuff.
happy about that.
But I mean, you never know. I mean, everyone's like, I think in love with her right now because she's like doing justice, like researching all the books and stuff.
Yeah.
But
wait, does she have like a Twitter or something I can follow? Yeah. I gotta follow.
But the internet turns on people.
Always. Oh man, can't wait. The internet can't wait to turn on. Even if you're doing like things good, it's like someone's gonna find something wrong.
I'm excited to see it because the video games have a lot of the book stuff in there.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that and stuff was changed too.
That reminds me.
I think the games were pretty.
I have to go to
really
Amazon and order the Witcher 3 coloring book. Hang on. And the news that they're doing a Lord of the Rings Amazon show.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited about that.
Very interesting.
And as long as Gandalf's still in it and it's gonna be
Ian, he wants to do it.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm about it. Yeah, I'm about that.
Man, you gave me a scare the other day. You were like, who's Ian McKellen again? And I was like, oh, Gandalf. And you go, you look at your phone and you go, shit. And I was like, what? And then you're like, he's going to be on Family Guy. And I was like, how dare you? Do not ever do that again.
No.
That's right, everyone. He was going to, yeah, that was not the right.
That's
I
hilarious.
was like, you gave me a heart attack.
No, they're doing like an extended Stewie episode, and he plays a psychologist.
Oh, yeah, I saw
I'm
that.
like, I should probably watch that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because
You've been watching the Orville, yeah?
I've seen like 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay.
It's I know it took a while to get its footing, but it's actually a pretty good Star Trek imitation.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
I think that was what most people are saying. Yeah, we had a podcast about this, didn't we?
Yeah.
I would recommend it. It does have that weird, like, it takes a while to get going.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a lot of jokes that I don't really care for the jokes.
I don't really care for his jokes most of the time.
They're not some of there have been a few funny ones, but most of the time it's like, okay, yeah, but let's get back to this being a Star Trek Next Generation ripoff.
I take a lot of issues with Seth MacFarlane's comedy stylings.
Of course.
Some of the early Family Guys are funny, but maybe that's. But I don't know about time.
I mean, no, there's it's like the Simpsons. Like the first 6 seasons of Family Guy were very, very, very funny. But there's a lot of stuff in there that it's like, I feel like he kicks people while they're down. And I feel like he'll attack like the lowest common denominator, and I'm like, that's not what comedy's about.
Every once in a while, when I watch one, there'll be like some of the newest stuff. It'll be like, it's kind of like, let's see how many times we laughed during this, and like, oh, there was actually 2 times where we laughed. There was one episode last season that I thought was like very classic. Family Guy, if you can even, whatever that is. I don't know what that algorithm is, but and the rest was just kind of like, but the rest it doesn't feel like Family Guy to me.
Yeah.
But so every once in a while, I feel like The Simpsons is that way too, but less so. I haven't seen a good Simpsons episode in a while.
I did laugh at something the other day. I watched a new episode and I laughed at something.
There's always like a good
because
few
they brought
things,
back a lot of the writers.
Yeah.
You know, but it's this.
I'll give it a chance when people start saying, "Oh, you should."
It's just like having a cell phone in Springfield is so weird to me, and I just don't like it. And it's just every time I see someone with a cell phone, I'm like, "Oh, trying to be modern, huh, Springfield?"
There's a lot of jokes at the expense of like new things, and I'm like,
yeah. It doesn't ring true in my ear when I hear Bart Simpson talk about an iPhone. You know, it just doesn't.
Sorry, I was skimming for. I don't know what else. We didn't do questions, but
we just finished. We
next
watched
time.
all of Black Mirror.
Oh yeah,
you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Because they just came out with season 4. Yeah, right.
I mean, they've all been really entertaining. A lot of them are like, well, I don't think I'd watch it a second time, but I don't think any have been bad.
No, the first and last one are my favorites.
Those are the standouts.
But all of them have great concepts, and they're all well done.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of Black Mirror?
You know, I've watched like episodes of it. I haven't watched them all though, but I've seen some really good episodes.
We watched the earlier ones like when it was airing on BBC, the first and second seasons. But the third season, the one that started when it moved to Netflix, like I think those are a bit of a step above. Like those are the really good ones.
Yeah, I think that's what I watched the
Bryce
episode.
Dallas Howard.
Bryce. Oh, I've seen that episode. And then the other one where the kid gets the text message and he's got to like follow.
Oh yeah, that one was.
Oh man.
I mean that's because I'm like a huge Twilight Zone fan. Like I love Twilight Zone, and then to have that, and like I thought, of course, my brain goes there at the end of it, but like where it went towards the end, I was like, that's exactly that's so satisfying. You know, it's all disappointment, but it's all very satisfying for me to hear a story.
It's
like
nice
that.
to have an anthology show that really reminds me of Twilight Zone because I grew up
aren't they redoing
those.
Twilight Zone too?
Of course they are.
They are.
Also, they're bringing back Animaniacs on.
I saw that. Yeah.
Wait, what is it? Amazon Prime?
Yeah,
Amazon,
yeah. I'm stoked for that because all the voice actors I feel like have been like.
I hope they're all coming back. They haven't announced it. They said they're not sure.
Well, I mean,
but Animaniacs, one of that and Freakazoid, funniest animated
stuff.
Someone in the Engineer-eteers chat wants to know, Brian, what's your favorite Twilight Zone episode?
Oh, what's my favorite Twilight Zone episode? Oh man, that's really good. That's a difficult one.
I know.
For me, I always love the plastic surgery one.
Classic.
So good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I just watched one recently about he's a raccoon hunter and he dies. And then he's trying to it's like his afterlife. So he's trying to, number one, he has to figure out that he's dead. Then he has to figure out like he goes to the gates of heaven and he's got to figure out
spoilers.
I know spoilers. It's like the Twilight Zone. Like if you haven't seen the Twilight Zone, yeah, so he goes to the gates of heaven, right? He goes to the gates of heaven, and the guy's talking to him, like trying to bring him in, and his dog won't go in. It's like no. It's like, oh, it's okay. You leave your dog here. Come on through, and then we'll bring your dog in later. He's like, nope, my dog ain't going. I ain't going. It's like, come on, it'll be lots of fun. It's like, you got coon hunting in there? Nope, no coon hunting. I ain't going.
I don't remember this one.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And then he goes down the line, and then someone walks up to him, and who is actually Saint, who's supposed to be Saint Peter, the gates of heaven, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you were down the road. Oh, that's the devil trying to reel you in. Your dog wouldn't go because he smelled the sulfur or something like that. It was a very cool and that's what I love about the Twilight Zone is like is leading you on to believe this one thing. And like if I was that person, I would 100% been like, all right, yeah, I'll leave my dog here. Let's go, let's go, dude. But it's like, yeah. So I love that episode. But I think
cool.
The
one with the not that I remember the names, obviously. But
yeah, of course.
The one where it's basically a dollhouse and he's just
that's a brilliant one.
Yeah, the hand coming out of the sky.
Yeah. There is one similar to that where this guy wakes up like in this like cylindrical room and there's nothing in it, and there's a bunch of there's like a policeman with him, there's a ballerina,
nice,
and like they're all like the whole episode is them trying to like figure out what's happening and how to get out of the room, and they don't remember anything before that and everything, and then the hand comes in and you realize it's like a child's like a bin in a toy store and they're all little action figures and I mean I just have vague memories of that one.
There's a great episode with what's his face from he used to play all like the crazy uncles in these movies, like in Mary Poppins. He's like, I love to laugh. That like crazy uncle dude. Sure. Well, he plays like a clockmaker in one of them, and that's one of my favorite episodes of all time. He's so good in it, and he's got like such a sweet mentality about himself. It really sells it.
I know they redid the Twilight Zone, but I more so remember the remake of the Outer Limits
because of Forrest Whitaker. That's the only reason I remember it. And I feel like the remake of the Outer Limits was better than the Twilight Zone.
That one had was the one with the kid with got X-ray vision or something.
Yeah, totally.
That was creepy.
Yeah, there was a lot of creepy ones in that one.
It was way creepier than. It was closer to Tales from the Crypt, I suppose.
Wait, was there a remake of Twilight Zone episodes?
There was, but it didn't make any sense.
Because I remember when I was a kid being really scared of it was like a color remake of the one with the little boy who banishes people to the cornfield.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember the scene where they walk past a room of a lady watching TV. And like they're all like, oh yeah, like Tommy or whatever his name was, like he doesn't like her. It cuts to the lady's face and she doesn't have a mouth. And I remember when I was really little, that scene like scared the crap out of me. And it's like this weird random memory I have, but I know it was in color and it was like a more like contemporary episode of Twilight Zone, but that's an older episode from the cornfield. That I was always confused. I was like, am I remembering that right? I saw like a color version. Yeah.
I think we've gone on for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, we didn't really answer any questions from Twitter, but we can do that later.
Was it a 2-hour podcast? This is pretty.
An hour and a half.
Long enough.
Okay.
We caught up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know when the next one is, unfortunately, but.
We've got a lot.
After the anniversary
rehearsals.
We got a lot of.
I would just assume we can't do it for another month because we have rehearsals. Like, I mean, there's 11 people I think in total that we're bringing to the show. Yeah. And I mean, at least 7 of them people.
It's a lot of coordinating,
including the rest of us. We all have rehearsals and it's all different. So, I guess we'll probably see you in February.
Yeah, that sounds about safe assumption.
Yeah. But never know. Maybe I'll be bored one Friday and something will fall through.
Anyway,
let's just do the outro. You want to sing this one?
You want to plug in your guitar mic?
Nah.
Come on, Betty.
Do you want to sing it and then yeah?
Sure, dude.
Maybe Chelsea wants to sing it. No.
Chelsea. What?
I'm not gonna.
You want to bring a song?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to sing the main part.
Should we just keep the same
harmonies?
We tried it last time and then I screwed it up, but whatever.
Don't blow it this time.
Okay,
man.
So just keep the same.
Mm-hmm.
Is that tough? That's pretty tough.
We'll find out.
1, 2.
It was a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium.
Okay, one more time. Let's try it one more time.
It was a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Oh boy, we talked about Star Wars and the Guardians of the Galaxy and some other terrible movies. Bennettarium. Oh yeah. It's the Bennettarium. And it's over, so we'll see you later.
Well, I guess traffic's out. No, yeah, you still got traffic.
It'll be all right. I'm going the opposite of traffic. It'll be great.
Okay, cool. Don't take the 120.
I'll do what I want. Don't tell me what to do.
Don't take the 137.
No,
Wait, what are you doing?
Don't take the 5.
Don't let anyone know what freeway you live next to.
Okay, I'll go over there. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you have a good January.
Yeah. Happy January.
Year.
And we'll see some of you either at the show at the end of the month or maybe digitally via the recorded concert.
Okay. Bye. Have a good weekend, all.